So by forming the Materials Research Laboratory, of course, we've even further broadened the number of faculty that are involved. To about 70 faculty are involved with the combined center directly. Of course, our mission is to serve the larger community that I discussed earlier. That makes it easier for us to, when we interact with a company, identify people that might be good partners, and especially groups of people. And again, the idea is in much of academia, academics tend to have silos. And you want to take people out of that so that they see how what they do is relevant to, in the context of usually an application, relevant to what others do. And MIT is very good about that. But the MRL will be a better place because it's so interdisciplinary. It will be, by taking the two communities together, it will be a better place to make those matches. There's a tremendous amount of work going on at MIT on batteries, energy storage devices. In fact, one of I direct a sub-center that works on the topic. Of course, materials are critical. Chemistry is critical. Physics is very important. But also understanding some of the things, especially that lead to failure of batteries, is a topic that there's a mathematician here at MIT, in collaboration with engineers and physical scientists, has made a very important contribution. And again, the MRL is ideally positioned to help make that happen. In fact, MIT's expertise in battery materials, which I think is quite remarkable, all started through the formation of a small interdisciplinary research group in one of the predecessor centers. And it just blossomed into an area of great expertise that is very highly interactive with industry. One of the things that's going on in the center is that, or the laboratory, is that there's been sort of a renaissance in metallurgy. Metallurgy was a topic that was very important in academia. The material science and engineering department used to be a metallurgy department. A lot of the activity in metallurgy was seen to have evolved to the matured, and so academia kind of dropped out. Some of the processes that are used to make things like aluminum and steel are basically the same processes that were developed 100 years ago. What's happened recently is many of those things are being revisited, and not only in the context of are there better ways to do it, can you make better materials, but can you obviously make them at lower cost. And part of doing things at lower cost is making them with components that cost less, as well as making them in different ways. So there's suddenly we have great strength in even extractive metallurgy, how you take an ore and turn it into a metal, and then how you take a metal and turn it into object. There's a fellow in the material science and engineering department that's making objects that weigh a ton. Okay, in the same department and in the same laboratory where people are making objects that weigh nanograms. And also learning, understanding. We have people working on material systems, understanding over the full life cycle of material. How rare is the source? Something like cobalt is mined primarily in the Congo, and it's not a good situation on many levels. Well, are there alternatives? Will that affect how you choose materials? It should affect how you choose materials because there's cost risks. There's how can you make a material at lower energy, with lower energy costs, not only in making the material but over the period of use of the material. How do you do it in a way that doesn't affect the environment through byproducts that used to just be put in rivers and lakes? We don't want to do that anymore. How do you recycle the material? You can save a lot of money by recycling. But that wasn't something that was deemed important 100 years ago. So there's been a real renaissance, and at the same time, in the same laboratory, at the same institute, where people are doing fundamental innovations at the atomic scale. And that's one of the exciting things about materials research.